Preston is here, Peter Beinert's here, Kayleigh McEnany, Angela Rye, and Bakari Sellers. What a night. I mean, do these people go home?
No.
No. It's all exciting. It's 1 a.m., but we don't care.
No.
We're up, and the grill is going to be lit tonight, as they say. I have to say, being in Chicago, I was a resident of Chicago in 2004. In 2008, I was in Grant Park. Yeah. And then tonight, I'm here. And for that moment, for African Americans, for women, this is sort of a passing the torch from the first black president to the first woman nominee of a major party. I want to get all of your reactions to this moment. Play it. About them, and they knew that it was but this was a moment really for, I think, for the country to our changing demographics of this country, where we've come, where we're going. There's a woman who can be president, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on, from the first black president. I think this was a really important moment for the country, even outside of politics. Bakari?
I want to look at this moment somewhat in a vacuum. I want to take away, and we're going to have the narratives about comparing Barack Obama to Donald Trump. We can get to that later. We can talk about his record, the record-setting job growth that he's had, the unemployment rate being cut nearly in half. We could talk about the stock market going up. We could talk about all those things. But I want to talk about Barack Obama, the man, Barack Obama, the president of the United States, and what it means to so many people. When you watched that speech tonight, you saw a level of expectation that not only did he reach, but he just surpassed it. Barack Obama means so much to so many people, and it's encapsulated in one image. I always think back to the image of the little black boy who's in the Oval Office who asked the president if his hair feels like his. Yeah. And so the president leans over, and the little boy touches his head. And every time I see that image, I just cry. But tonight was just amazing, because he told us not where we were and not where we are, but where we can be. And if you contrast that just to the doom and gloom image we had of this country, and you think about the program tonight, whether or not everybody cried when Gabby Giffords came out and said, "Madam President." You know, everybody, and Mark and I were talking about this earlier, the impact of Joe Biden, Tim Kaine coming out there. I mean, and then Barack Obama ending the night, keeping America's attention till midnight. For me, I am very, very proud not to be a black man, not to be a black man in this country per se, but to be an American and just appreciate our 44th president of the United States.
I just want to go. I mean, as you held the mic, Brendan, didn't let anybody else talk for a minute.
I had to get that out.
No,
I hope he's
no, I think that's great. I don't know if that has come across on our air, but just standing there watching it this evening and thinking about, I remember being in 2008 with my baseball cap on and my producer, and we're standing in Grant Park going, oh my gosh, history is being made this evening, right? I just want to get your quick reactions on that moment, especially that final moment.
The final moment showed me that not only is forgiveness possible, but change is possible. They literally made each other better in his first term. And here he is now offering the second Obama closing of this week for her. It was beautiful.
This was his really going away speech.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead, Kayleigh. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know, it's a historic moment, of course, and I'm very happy for my fellow Democrats on the panel, but there are a lot of Americans who are sitting at home tonight in poverty. They have real troubles at home. They can't send their kids to college, and they viewed this night very differently than through the lens of history.
What do you think?
Barack Obama is now the Democrats' Ronald Reagan. This is the fundamental difference between the two parties. The only president the Republicans revere is dead. The Democrats now have their own Ronald Reagan. What John F. Kennedy used to be to the Democratic Party, Barack Obama now will be. He will tower over the Democratic Party for decades to come, and that's at the core of their strength, because the Democrats have this figure they can look to. The Republicans, George W. Bush's father, weren't even there.
Yeah. Listen, someone being of Irish descent and from Massachusetts, let us not say anything bad about JFK.
No, I grew up in Massachusetts.
Can we just see that moment, though? Let's just see the moment of him on stage. But go ahead. No.
I mean, look, I think that the word hope has been worn out over the past 7 years. As Kayleigh said, a lot of people are still in poverty. They're not feeling the economy on the upswing. However, I do think tonight that we saw that word hope recharged specifically amongst Democrats. If you were inside the hall, you saw the excitement in the hall. There was a level of excitement that we haven't seen in the Democratic Party in some time. It's been building up over the last couple of days. And of course, for him to follow all those great speeches tonight, then there were really good speeches, and close it the way he did was pretty amazing.
Mark, can I encapsulate this point really quick, Don? I was on the floor. There was a man when Barack Obama walked on the stage holding that anti-TPP sign. And 5 minutes into the president's speech, he had this Bernie cap on. Bernie cap came off, sign went down, and he was sitting there in awe. It was the most amazing thing because we know the protesters have been serious. Yeah. That was really amazing.
And the protest is still happening outside.
For me, it doesn't matter. As I said when Hillary Clinton officially became the nominee, it wouldn't matter to me if they're conservatives, if they're independents, if they're Democrats. This is America. This is a changing demographics of America to me. America is not just a country run by powerful white men. America is a country that's run by people of all different colors, all different ethnicities, all different sexualities, and all different genders. You may have a woman who's a president. You just had the first black president. I grew up never thinking there would be a black president or a woman president, and here we are on the precipice of the possibility of one and the ending of another. To me, this was an amazing moment. I want to hear how the president finished tonight. Listen.
Time and again, you've picked me up. And I hope sometimes I picked you up too. And tonight, I ask you to do for Hillary Clinton what you did for me. I ask you to carry her the same way you carried me. Because you're who I was talking about 12 years ago when I talked about hope. It's been you who fueled my dogged faith in our future, even when the odds were great, even when the road is long. Hope in the face of difficulty. Hope in the face of uncertainty. The audacity of hope. America, you've vindicated that hope these past 8 years. And now I'm ready to pass the baton and do my part as a private citizen. So this year, in this election, I'm asking you to join me to reject cynicism and reject fear and to summon what is best in us to elect Hillary Clinton as the next president of the United States and show the world we still believe in the promise of this great nation. Thank you for this incredible journey. Let's keep it going.
She is going to need the enthusiasm of the voter who went out for him.
Right.
Back in 2008 and 2012.
Right.
Did he do that for her?
Sure. African Americans, and from what we understand, he is going to go out and aggressively campaign, we've been told, in the past few hours. Younger voters as well. And quite frankly, trying to unify a Democratic Party that is still fractured. We had protests as this was going on inside. What people don't know is that outside, there were still protests going on, people that are still frustrated that they think that Bernie Sanders should have been the nominee.
Yeah. So, before I move on to the next moment, Bernie Sanders people, I understand, but she's gone. She has a new boyfriend. She's engaged to be married. She's not coming back. Well, you could go out, get out of the basement or off your couch, go out to the bar and find another girl. It's over.
But I think that is when Donald Trump comes into play. Because I think Bernie Sanders supporters, Pew Research, as we echoed a couple nights ago, all these nights are running together. I don't want to be like, good evening, Cleveland, because it's in Philadelphia. But Pew Research says that 90% of all Bernie Sanders supporters are migrating or making their way over to. You're shaking your head.
I saw a lot of them today.
Well, our CNN poll
that's
numbers,
fine, but I mean, I'm telling you this.
Right, and I'm telling you the CNN poll numbers are very different than
that's
the
fine.
numbers.
So, but my only point is that what Barack Obama's been able to do, Barack Obama is still the most popular figure in the Democratic Party. He still is the one to bring people together. And my question to Republicans who are watching this versus last week is, why can't we think America is great? Why can't we think that a gay man like Don Lemon can be in your television screen every night? Why can't I be from Denmark, South Carolina, where we got
that crazy name, whatever your name is?
I'm a skinny guy with a funny name, sitting here with you guys, telling my opinion to the world. Why can't America, or why can't we believe America is great? And so if you watch tonight versus last week, you can feel the difference. Not only did we not step on our message in a very, very analytical way, but we actually showed that this country means something. Joe Biden said it. Joe Biden said, we don't lose. We don't come in second place. We own the finish line. That's what I'm talking about.
No, but the problem is that the president's message doesn't comport with the reality of many Americans. There's a reason 70% of the country feels that we're heading in the wrong direction. And let's litigate the president's record. Look at premiums. His healthcare achievement, it's his gold standard. It's his baby. You look at premiums, Gallup says healthcare is among the top. No, let me finish, please. I listened for a minute.
Finish.
That premiums are among the top financial concerns for Americans. You look at wages. Wages says, the New York Times says that Americans are making a substantial amount less of money. You look at poverty, 5.8 million more Americans in poverty. You look at food stamps, 11.1 million more Americans on food stamps. We can go metric by metric.
And I get that, but the audacity of someone here who has insurance, right, to talk about all of these other abstract things, because he put 10 million, 14 million to be exact, more Americans now have health insurance. So you can sit here and you can dib and dab, but there are people now who will not go bankrupt when they have a heart attack. And wait a minute, and sorry, Angela, reach across you, but we're also talking about the simple fact that people now have jobs. The unemployment rate has gone down. People's 401ks have gone up. So we can litigate his message, but this whole Obamacare thing, it drives me crazy, because what it is people in glass houses who have insurance want to talk about how bad the plan is.
Not only that, but premiums were going to go up anyway, and they've gone up less. My premium went down, and it stayed down.
I would also say,
there's several.
When Republicans want to say that things are worse, what they really mean is they were better in the late 1990s under Bill Clinton. You cannot point to a period under a Republican president in which wages were higher, in which the economy was better, in which more people had health care. So if you want to say that, well, I think what Bill Clinton effectively said was, we are in the process of coming out of a recovery in the same way that we did in the 1990s. The difference is the financial crisis was much deeper than the recession of the 1990s. It's taking us longer to get out, but we are in a much, much better place by any objective measure than on the day that Barack Obama took office.
Go ahead, Mark.
But the reality is, what Kayleigh's trying to say here is that people still are hurting, okay? And as we head into November, the reality is that Donald Trump still has a good shot of winning the presidency, because there are folks in battleground states that we will be focusing on, including where we are sitting right now here in Pennsylvania, although, like, bottom line is Pennsylvania will very likely stay Democrat, but you got Ohio, you know, Michigan. I mean, there are just states, although Michigan as well will likely stay Democrat. The fact of the matter is people are still hurting, and that's why it's not cutting through for everybody.
But here's what I want to find out the reality. Yes, people are hurting. People always hurt in America, right? No matter which president, no matter if we're under a Republican regime or a Democratic regime. People are always hurting, but is that the reality of it? Hang on, or do people feel that way? Because you can feel that a certain way, but that may not necessarily be the reality.
There is a reality, and here is the very important point. There is only so much that we can lay at the feet of this president. Whether we're talking about the American Jobs Act that he introduced, it included 9 recommendations from the Congressional Black Caucus when I worked there. Everything from infrastructure spending to unemployment insurance that was never touched. This Republican Congress, both House and the Senate, would not consider it. They have to take responsibility for inaction.
I have to get to a break, and then we'll discuss more on the other side. We're just getting started here at the CNN Grove. We haven't even taken a commercial break yet. We're going to eat some pretzels.
We need to get paid.
A hot dog, French fries. Can we get a beer at least? I mean, my gosh, we're past the halfway mark here. Live from the CNN Grill, which is rocking and raucous tonight. Some big names here tonight as well.
All right.
That's what they say.
I know. You can't even get in. We'll be right back.